Getting the Nike GT Cut 4 could hurt because $200 is not cheap, but Nike promises that the shoe delivers ultimate court feel for the next generation of hoopers. If you have the cash to spare, the shoe is releasing January 2026. But there's one thing you need to know because it cuts right into how Nike is positioning the shoe in terms of price. You see, I've been writing sneaker stories and posting shoe reviews for more than 10 years, and through those years, you must have seen as well how the GT Cut series has evolved. The tech has changed from then and now, but not only that, because you've also probably noticed how the price has increased. And it's the $200 price tag of the GT Cut 4 that could make or break it. That's because it makes the shoe not an average person's shoe, and that's fine because not all shoes are priced the same. But the thing is, on face value, Nike is marketing the GT Cut 4 as the shoe for young hoopers, but at $200, it doesn't seem to make much sense. So let's have a quick conversation. Nike starts off by describing the GT Cut 4 as having a bold, futuristic design, and this actually ties back to how Nike is marketing the shoe, which is that it's a basketball shoe for the next generation of hoopers. And it may not be what you think it only means because there's actually a deeper psychological premise to this. Let me explain. Who wore the shoe first is Nike's clue. If you remember, the GT Cut 4 was debuted by Paige Beckers during the WNBA All-Star Weekend. Paige herself has been making a name in the WNBA despite her young age, or precisely because of that. And that's also the very reason why Nike chose her to debut the shoe, because ultimately she's one of the WNBA's future stars and Nike is banking on that possibility. Which basically means if you're wearing the GT Cut 4, then you're making a public statement. That's regardless of your age. Nike is tapping into your inner youth, even claiming that the shoe uses materials and finishes that match your bold and confident energy, two things that someone in their early 40s can still have. So if I see you wearing the GT Cut 4, it's as if you're telling me that you're bold and energetic. It's also this appeal to your youthful mindset that defines the setup of the shoe. Here's how. Everything starts with the upper because that's usually the most prominent part of basketball shoes. And so for the Nike GT Cut 4, the brand designed it to have a low profile, snug, and comfortable fit through a 3D molded collar, molded vamp tongue, and exoskeleton casted containment upper. It's a lot to take in, but Nike just wants you to know that the GT Cut 4 is secure without getting in the way of your shifty footwork. I will warn you though that the cushioning seems complicated and that you'll probably wonder how it will hold up. Nike says that the shoe uses a ZoomX 3.0 midsole and parabolic zoom strobel that work alongside an RBRX foam for enhanced stability and a Cushlon carrier for added support. That to me sounds like a stacked cushioning setup that's probably better than other Nike signature shoes these days. This setup is said to give players a responsive court feel, and it could be just that. To top it all off, Nike decided to use a new generative traction pattern for the outsole. The brand says that it supports quick cuts and changes of direction. If you recall, Nike also calls the traction pattern in the Nike A1 as generative, which basically just means that the pattern was created using automated design software. With all these things, Nike ultimately claims that the GT Cut 4 has best-in-class cushioning, traction, stability, and fit in an ultra-modern low-top design. But there's gotta be a catch somewhere, right? One is the retail price because reports say that the shoe will go for $200. That's $30 more since the first version. If you recall, the GT Cut 1 retailed for $170. The second iteration kept that same retail price, but the GT Cut 3 sold higher for $190. But this goes beyond mere price tag, which brings us to the second catch. And that is the price also confirms what we suspected early in this video. which is that the shoe is for those who are young at heart, aka those who may be not too young anymore but are still young at heart and have the spending power to buy a pair. Because if you think about it, a $200 shoe is not really the price you'll set if you're selling them to kids or teenagers, aka the people that Nike calls the next generation of hoopers. So ultimately, the Nike GT Cut 4 offers many things, but at the same time takes from consumers a lot as well. It's loaded with top-of-the-line cushioning tech, has a futuristic design, and is not cheap by basketball shoe standards. Honestly, I don't see it as an ideal purchase because to me, there are better options out there considering the price. But hey, that's just me, which brings me to my final point. I want to hear what you have to say about the Nike GT Cut 4 because if you're one of those who are young at heart and have the extra cash to spare, is the shoe even on your list? Or if you're in your 20s or perhaps very early 30s, I want to know if you think the Nike GT Cut 4 is worth the $200 price tag. It's probably going to be interesting because to me, your opinion on whether a shoe should even be sold for $200 matters. The Nike GT Cut 4 could either make or break that pricing trend for the series because if it doesn't sell well at that price point, you can expect Nike to rethink its pricing strategy going into the GT Cut 5 and 6 and so on. But that's assuming that the Nike GT Cut series will even get there. So let me know what you think. Hey man, thanks for watching. You can support me and my cats by joining my channel membership. Thanks and I hope to see you on the next one.